I am so glad you are continuing on with this series, Self-Care Game Plan. What's up next? The fuel trainer. What is fuel? Fuel is what keeps a car moving. It's what keeps our body moving, right? So everything we take in, here's a cup of water. This is my fuel, right? If I'm eating Chick-fil-A, that also counts as fuel. If I'm having candy, that's fuel. If I'm having broccoli, that's fuel. Now here's the thing, not all fuel is gonna really help us run at an optimal level. Same with your gas tank, right? In your car. Not all fuel is gonna allow your car to run at its optimal level. In fact, some gas is going to hurt your car. Same with food. So we are going to take a little look at what you are currently eating and drinking, right? And then see what is going to be something you could take away. So let's do this. Again, pause the video because this is not something you can just do and listen and continue listening to the video. Pause the video and write down all of the things that you eat on a regular basis. Everything, like over the last week or so. And if you really want to dig into this, what I would say is instead of doing this and looking back, I would say take a week and log all of your food intake, where you're eating it, when you're eating it, and log that for a full week. And again, if you want a little more guidance on your food journal, reach out to me, Heather at heathergadusco.com, and I'll send you a PDF where you can do that on this PDF, and it's going to walk you through what to track, how to track it. But if you're not interested in doing that, what you're going to do is kind of a look back instead, and you're going to say, well, I normally eat waffles and I have my cup of coffee for breakfast. And, you know, my go-to lunch is always the chicken Caesar wrap that I get from, you know, XYZ store. And then for dinners, I typically make, you know, like just go back and look at what you're eating. Don't forget snacking foods. Don't forget alcohol. Don't forget sodas. Put it all down on paper. And then when you've done that, either you're looking back and you're compiling the list, or you're food journaling as you go for the next week, you're going to come back and here we are. We're back. So now you have your list, whether it's from before or what you just did in the last week and your food journals. I want you to look at that list. What in there is not fueling you with the best nutrients, the best nourishment? So I just want you to circle the things that maybe are not fueling you the greatest. Doesn't mean you have to completely get them out, so don't worry. Okay, this is just a little awareness activity. So, you know, alcohol really doesn't do anything for us except it gives us a little buzz that might feel good. But nourishment-wise, fuel-wise, guess what? It's not doing anything good. Candy, not doing anything good. Processed sugar, not doing anything good. Processed foods, not really doing anything good. Okay, so those are all things that whatever it's on your sheet, circle them, take a look at them. Those are the things that are potential things that you could subtract, right? You could subtract them from your diet. Now, I want you to, again, look at your food journal and look at what might be missing. Do you not have enough veggies in there? Maybe you only have veggies on your burger and that's tomato and lettuce, right? So if that's the case, possibly it might be veggies. For some of you, maybe you're not getting enough protein. Well, what's protein? That's going to be protein from animals, you know, your chicken, your beef, your turkey, eggs, salmon, fish. Tofu is going to be your plant-based options. Beans are going to be your plant-based options. So are you getting enough protein? Look at that. Maybe, maybe not, right? Are you getting enough fiber in your diet, right? And again, if you're not sure what fiber is, Google it. Google what foods are in that have fiber in. Fiber is a really important thing to have in. So look at that food list and just you don't need to be a nutritionist or a dietitian. We know, right? We know what isn't fueling ourselves correctly. And if we're having too much of it, it's really going to hurt us and it's not a treat anymore. So I want you to look at this list. You've circled the things that you're having too much of. You're looking and you're seeing things that aren't showing up at all. So from that list, I want you to say, you know what? I'm going to add. So you're going to put down under fuel action, I will add in. Maybe for you, it's green, leafy greens. Maybe for you, it is more protein. Be specific which kind of protein you want to have. We're all different. There's no right or wrong depending on how your body processes it. But protein is really important to have. So make sure if you're not getting that, use that as your add-in. Okay, so just choose one for our self-care game plan. One thing to focus on. And we don't even need to figure out when that's going to be yet. Okay, so one thing that you want to work on adding in. And then look at that list of circled items. Those should be considered treats, okay? So I want to just talk really briefly about the word treat and the word cheat. So looking at that list of foods and then how many are circled. If you have a lot of circled foods, that's a lot of treats, right? And a treat is not a treat if it's all the time and daily or pretty often, right? What's a treat? It's something that you have once in a while, you look forward to. So what if you make those foods more of treat foods, right? And don't call them a cheat food either. Like, oh, I'm cheating tonight. I'm gonna have my pizza with pepperoni and sausage. That's cheating. Nobody likes a cheater, right? When we're talking about game plans and players and coaches, what happens to cheaters? They get kicked out. So don't call yourself a cheater. Look at those foods and decide just one type of food. Maybe for you, it's that fast food that you get every day at lunch. And maybe you're not even going to choose to get rid of it every single day. Maybe it's just on a Tuesday that you're going to say, you know what? I am going to choose not to have that fast food on a Tuesday. I'm taking it out. And instead, I'm going to go and I'm going to get the big leafy green salad from the grocery store that has a salad bar. And I'm able to use that to add in my leafy greens. So you see what we just did there? We're taking one thing away that's not serving us and that's not fueling ourselves to the best of our ability. And then we're replacing it with something that is. And again, you don't even need to do this all the time. So the biggest problem that people face when they're trying to change their eating habits is they try to do it all at once with every single meal. What if you're just dip your foot in, right? And say, you know what? I'm going to do this on a Tuesday at lunchtime. And you do that for a few weeks. And then you make the choice to say, you know what? I'm doing it now on a Tuesday and a Thursday. And then that starts to become a new habit. So your fuel actions, you with me? What is the one thing you're going to add in? What is the one thing you're going to take away? And just roughly brainstorming. You don't need to have a specific game plan yet, but roughly speaking, write down some ideas of when you could possibly do this. To give you an example, so I talk about it in my book. One thing I struggled with and could very easily continue to struggle with if I'm not mindful is drinking wine at night, just because it relaxes me, right? And one glass of wine for me typically turns into 2 or 3 glasses of wine. So that was something I knew, being in the wellness field, alcohol isn't going to really help me out. And it's not going to make me feel good in the morning to get up and do my morning workout. So what could I replace that with? Because it was a habit. I was used to having that glass of wine at night. So for me, instead of replacing it, some people like to replace it with some tea. I wanted to replace it with cucumbers and hummus. So now I get my cucumbers and hummus to this day out and I sit in front of my TV. Instead of with a glass of wine, I'm dipping my cucumber in and I'm having bites of hummus with my cucumber. So that may sound silly to you, but it works for me. So your self-care game plan for your fuel trainer doesn't have to make sense to anybody else. All that matters is that you're working on taking that one thing that's not giving you the best nourishment and sliding in that other thing that's going to serve you better, right? And to start slow and small and to make that list. So I hope that makes sense. And reminder to all of you, you can reach out to me. specifically heather@heathergadesco.com, and let me know if this is not making sense to you, and would be happy to hop on a 15-minute complimentary call to help you out, okay? So I will see you on the next video where we're going to talk about the final role that we play, the referee, all right? No, I'm completely lying to you. That is a lie. That is not our next role. Our next role is the mindfulness trainer. The mindfulness trainer. I almost forgot about that. So we talked about the fitness trainer, your fuel trainer. The next is mindfulness. So we'll talk then. See you.